In this film, the term Comprehensive Sexuality Education, or CSE, does not refer to sex education programs in general, but rather to a specific form of graphic sexuality education. CSE is designed to change the sexual and gender norms of society, promotes high-risk sexual behaviors, and encourages even the youngest of children to experiment sexually.
This is definitely an attack on healthy family life. It will affect your economy. It will affect your child rearing. It will affect your education system.
This has horrified a lot of people in South Africa. And the tool that is being used, the weapons that are being used, is comprehensive sexuality education.
As president of the American College of Pediatricians, I am deeply concerned about comprehensive sexuality education for 4 reasons. First, it sexualizes children. Second, it threatens children's health. Third, it promotes a dangerous gender ideology. And fourth, it undermines the parent-child relationship, which violates parental rights.
An outraged state government wants a homosexual conference banned from Queensland University. But it's to go ahead, and the government is powerless to stop it. However, it will order police to monitor the conference at which paedophilia, sex with children, is a topic.
Yesterday in the Queensland Parliament, there were cries of outrage at the conference and its discussion on paedophilia. Many delegates today tried to hide from the cameras. Topics at the meeting include sexually outraged women, being perpetually indulgent in the era of AIDS, and gays in business. But it's the 2 sessions on adults having sex with children and babies that has led to the public outcry.
I think it's disgusting, and it's against the law anyway.
All I'd say, they're insulting even animals the way they operate. Let's put it as simple as that.
This is what the outrage is all about. The agenda to the annual homosexual conference being held here at Queensland University.
There are 2 discussions on paedophilia. One asks why paedophilia, or adults having sex with children, can't be viewed as a viable sexuality.
Saturday at 10:45, Children and the Gay Movement. And then at 1:15, a workshop simply titled Paedophilia. Both of them presented by the Australian Paedophile Support Group.
The workshops will be headed by the Australian Paedophile Support Group, an organisation exposed by police in Melbourne last year.
The men call themselves the Paedophile Support Group, their aim being to help each other in obtaining the children they exploit. They have links with similar groups in the United Kingdom and America, and they, along with other men of similar bent, have talked about and established a method of procuring young boys from underdeveloped countries of Asia.
a gay rights activist volunteered to explain the position of the paedophile supporters.
Pedophilia is usually understood as intergenerational sex between men and boys. All that we know, the people who've gathered together as the paedophile support group are people who have wanted to raise the issues for discussion, because the issues of age of consent, the issue of children's sexuality are very complex and they're of interest to everybody in the gay movement. We've found often that age of consents are used more to victimise and exploit people, and that perhaps there are better ways of protecting children.
We decided early in the piece that the conference was to cover as many gay issues as possible, and some gay people decided that they wanted to talk about paedophilia. We've done that before at previous conferences.
Topics were branded as deviant by Education Minister Lynn Powell, who describes the planned workshop on paedophilia as abhorrent and repugnant. Today he telexed Queensland University's Senate, urging it to ban the conference.
Meanwhile, the University Senate considered the request but decided to allow the conference to go ahead at the Student Union's function rooms.
We're talking about a group of people who are wishing to promote the molestation of children, and that's what we're talking about, and that's why I'd like to stop it.
We want them to stay in New South Wales, where they come from and where they operate from and where they're backed by the government. That's where they should stay.
While the politicians put pressure on the University Senate and the Senate put pressure on the Vice-Chancellor, conference delegates waited.
Tony Kynaston, you're president of the Student Union. What's the union's view on this conference?
Well, the union supports the 10th annual conference for lesbians and homosexual men. However, we've come under increasing amounts of pressure to advise the conference coordinators to hold the workshops on paedophilia off campus.
Where's that pressure coming from?
Well, that pressure is mainly coming from the university. They're under tremendous amounts of pressure, and they've received telegrams from the Education Minister not to hold the conference on campus.
This afternoon, the sessions on paedophilia were cancelled, and delegates protested at what they saw as the stifling of free speech. How do most of the delegates feel about the subject of paedophilia?
I've no idea. Since we can't discuss the question, I can't tell you that.
National Conference of Homosexuals meeting in Brisbane today moved to stop adverse publicity by banning the media from covering the event.
There was a hostile reception waiting for the journalists and photographers when they arrived at the Queensland University campus for the much publicised conference today.
Conference organisers refused to be interviewed today about the banishment yesterday and subsequent abandonment of the paedophile workshop.
The conference continues tomorrow with a workshop entitled Getting Out of Marriage and Into a Gay Lifestyle and Transsexuals in 1984.
In the current climate, what with the AIDS scare and whatever hysteria there may be around the issue of gay rights, wasn't it rather stupid on your part to raise a discussion about something like this at this time?
I don't think it was stupid. In lots of ways, I think it's a bit of a joke. We expected a lot of flack. We didn't expect as much flack as we got. We didn't ask for the flack about AIDS. We didn't ask for the flack about equal employment opportunity. We got it. We're getting quite used to dealing with flack. Gay people have been used to dealing with flack over the centuries.
So we talk about visibility, and it's one of the challenges, I think, of working, and we work deliberately and specifically around sexual diversity and gender diversity. Not all forms of diversity, we're talking about sexual diversity and gender diversity. And both of those things are not necessarily visible. You can't look around the room and be like, oh, you're sexually diverse, you're gender diverse, whatever. It's not the same as saying, oh, there's a lot of people from different cultural backgrounds, I can see them in here. Not all cultural diversity is visible, but there are those triggers to make you think, are we doing stuff to make those students from different cultural backgrounds feel included? There's not the same triggers around sexual diversity. People can be invisible, and there are schools where they say, still, we don't necessarily work with them, but we hear the stories of, but we don't really have any gay students in our school, because they're not necessarily visible, right? So we've got to think about really explicit, visible cues that are very clearly about gender and sexual diversity. So we think very specific posters work really well. Very specific messages from school leadership. Very specific things written in your school newsletter. About Safe Schools Coalition is about supporting gender and sexual diversity. Not about celebrating diversity, not about stopping bullying. About gender and sexual diversity. About same-sex attracted. About being transgender. About being lesbian, gay, bisexual. Say the words. Transgender, intersex, not just be nice to everyone, everyone's great.
And I think that's come out of, like, in the past schools, and schools...
Positive parents have driven that change in schools. And out of 132 schools, we have had one complaint from a parent about being part of Safe Schools Coalition. One complaint. And that's not what the schools thought was going to happen. All of the school leadership, a lot of school leadership said, oh, what can we do when a parent complains? We give them some advice, and then we're like, did anyone complain? I'm like, no, it's great actually. Somebody called us and said, congratulations for joining. And it's way more likely to be that we find than people complaining. If and when, and sometimes in that case when the parent did complain, we have complaints sometimes directly from parents who are not when people do complain, and school leadership can very calmly and graciously say, you know what we're doing anyway, tough luck, basically, in a nice way. What can you do? This is a program that's about supporting safe and inclusive schools. We're going to celebrate Idaho Day, and we're going to do it with our junior campus. And so, it's unfortunate that you don't agree with that. We're going to do it again next year. If you really strongly disagree and you want to take your kid out of school that day, that's their loss, really. That's what they say.
It's important to note that it does come up a lot. People say, what about the parents a lot? Schools give parents seem to have a lot of power over schools. Parents don't have the power to shut this down. There's an insignificant minority that might have an issue with it. None of them really ever say anything, and one person that does. The principal knows how to deal with that person. They know what the message is. They know why they're doing this work and why it's so important. That's part of the school culture. That's part of the school community. You're either part of it or you're not, really, at the end of the day. And no one's taking a kid out of the school who belongs to the coalition for that reason.
And I know that you get the same thing as saying, celebrating.
I mean, really...
It's a sick band, then.
It's really good, actually, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's a whole generation of young people who are confident about their sexuality and gender identity like they haven't been before.
What gender identity are you, Roswell?
None of your business. Sorry.
I just want to know what I should call you, Z? Zer?
It's none of your business. Total loser. Honestly, you're a loser.
Have you looked in the mirror?
You're a loser.
Have you looked?
I have looked in the mirror and it's very good.
Okay, that's great.
I suggest you do the same and you take a long hard look at yourself and the lives that you want to ruin in this country, and you should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
Okay, that's fine. You should be ashamed of yourself for teaching kids those things in school which are disgusting. Child grooming. That's what that is.
So we move to general business. Senator Williams.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. On behalf of Senator O'Sullivan, I ask that general business notice of motion number 763 relating to Professor Gary Dowsett be taken as formal.
So the question is that the motion is moved by Senator Williams be taken as formal. Is that agreed to? Yes. Thank you. Senator Williams.
I move the motion standing in the name of Senator O'Sullivan, Madam Deputy President.
Senator McGrath.
I seek leave to make a short statement.
Is leave granted? Yes. 1 minute. Thanks, Senator McGrath.
Issues relating to child protection and child exploitation are serious and draw the rightful condemnation of members of this government. Universities enjoy autonomy to operate and freedom of thought within the regulatory framework. However, as recipients of taxpayer funding, universities must ensure they operate within the law and in accordance with the community's expectations.
So Senator Chisholm.
Seek leave to make a short statement.
Leave of 1 minute is granted, Senator Chisholm.
I also foreshadow that the opposition will be seeking to split the question on this motion and vote on parts A and B together and differently on parts C, D and E. Labor supports the first and second part of this motion, condemning what Professor Dowsett wrote in an article published 35 years ago in support of the rights of pedophiles. However, Labor does not support parts C, D and E of this motion on the basis that to indirectly or directly call for specific actions against an individual, including for the employment to be terminated, is not an appropriate use of the protections of parliamentary privilege in this instance, especially as that individual is outside of this parliament.
Senator McKim.
Thank you, Deputy President. I seek leave to make a short statement.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted of 1 minute. Senator McKim.
Thank you, Deputy President. The Greens will not support this motion. The motion is simply a rerun of attacks from 2016 against the integrity of a well-respected academic and the institution that employs him. As is so often the case, references from an article published 36 years ago have been removed from their context in order to confect a social outrage. La Trobe University has already made clear its support for Professor Dowsett, who, across the breadth of his career, has made a valuable contribution to the academic and intellectual life of this country.
Thank you, Senator McKim. So the question is that parts A and B of this motion be agreed to, as moved by Senator Chisholm. Those of that opinion say aye. Against? I believe the ayes have it. So we now move to the second part of that motion. So the question is that C, D and E of this motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye. Against? No. I think the noes have it. So we'll now move to motion number 764.
The Baird government has revealed there are a number of young students across New South Wales schools that are transitioning their gender. The youngest, that preschooler you mentioned, who is just 4 years old. That particular case was brought up at a budget estimates hearing delving into the Safe Schools program, which does provide support for cases like this. Now, speaking of cases, the number of referrals for gender services at the Westmead Children's Hospital in Western Sydney has tripled. And with some children as young as 3 getting assistance from the Gender Dysphoria Unit. Now, the New South Wales Education Department will provide ongoing support to that 4-year-old as they transition their gender, but some psychologists are questioning whether 4 is just too young.